firstly, thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you today. And as you can see, we're in this beautiful tea house here in Marrakech, where there's such a rich Moroccan culture that is so evident here. And I think there's a really clear link between the UK and Morocco. We both love tea. We both have tea as part of our rich culture. And just as I was walking around the museum here, I was able to see that there's actually a really strong link with the UK. There is various tea pots and implements for making tea that are actually made in the UK. And I think this is just part of the cultural heritage that we both share. It's about welcoming your guests, it's about family, it's about bringing people together. And I think this is the kind of cultural dynamic that I think is really, really interesting and exciting. But to take it to a modern level, that's why I'm here, and that's why I visited the other cities that you mentioned, Casablanca, Tangier. I've been to Fez and other places as well, where I've been able to see for myself that there's great potential for the UK-Morocco partnership. As you probably know, we have a very positive dynamic between not just between our governments, although that's very important, but also between our peoples. And there are thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of British people who come and visit here every year. I think that is part of what I am trying to build on by visiting here and making connections with people, with businesses, with the political leadership here. Well, climate change is an area where the UK and Morocco really can work closely together. We've just, of course, come through the COP annual meeting in Brazil. The sense of urgency is very, very real. We have to take urgent action, and I think in the UK we really recognise the leadership role that Morocco has been playing, not just here but of course across the whole region. Morocco is a leader in green energy, for example. The UK has also invested heavily, and I think there's great scope for us to partner there. When our foreign minister visited in June, he actually signed an agreement with the Moroccan government to work even more closely together on especially disaster risk management, on early warning and alert systems. And I think really there's great scope to do more on that. Also in the sector of education you mentioned, this is something that I think there is huge potential. As I travel around the country, I meet people who have learned English, for example, and want to have that experience of maybe an English education. That's something which has brought British schools to open campuses here in Morocco and here in Marrakech as well. So British school here, there are ones in Rabat and Casablanca and Tangier and other places. There are British universities that have opened campuses here. And the British Council, which is the British government's cultural and education agency, they've been very, very active here. We've got programs, for example, to work with Moroccan teachers of English, for example, to help expand the ability and the capacity for English language teaching. So that's just one really concrete example. Well, it's my very great honour to be able to visit the Malaika Centre, which is just doing absolutely fantastic work here for women and girls who have Down syndrome. And recently they partnered with a Moroccan-British charity called Education for All, which looks to develop that partnership even further. I think what is clear is that people who have disabilities find it more difficult to find employment, find it potentially more at risk of being excluded from different aspects of society that maybe the rest of us take for granted. And so I think it's especially inspiring that there is this centre here in Marrakech, and it's my great honour to be able to pay a visit. Well, the fact that Marrakech is hosting the World Water Congress, I think it just goes to show what a truly international city Marrakech is, attracting delegates from all over the world to this really important congress on this vital topic. It's, of course, a vital issue for Morocco, where water has been very scarce for many years. There've been many years of drought, and as I've spoken to government officials who work in this area, and indeed I had the pleasure of meeting the Minister for Water, he was telling me about the plans that Morocco has for creating new infrastructure for helping to manage the water situation. And in the UK, I mean, although we face a different set of challenges on water in the UK, but we still do have our own challenges, and we've recently announced our own water strategy in the UK for better managing our own water flow with reservoirs, with pipelines, and being able to upgrade our own infrastructure. So I really feel that again, this is an area where we can share experiences and share expertise. And as part of our British government's partnerships for water, we've been able to host a seminar as part of the World Water Congress, which has brought together experts and government officials to be able to talk about what we can do in a concrete, in a real way to make a difference in people's lives. Well, your question speaks to the history of our relationship, and it goes back a very long way. The initial contact, in fact, between our royal families goes back many hundreds of years. But I do see the relationship as being a modern and dynamic one. So my message is simple, which is that the UK and Morocco have great potential for the future. I'm new here. I've been living in Rabat now for 3 months as the British ambassador, but already it's just clear to me that there is a real sense of dynamism, of energy here in this country. And I think that there's multiple ways that the UK and Morocco can do even more. That's in trade and investment, where I think I can build on the work that's been done, as you say, by my predecessors, but also by the Moroccan ambassador in London and his predecessors, especially in the fields of education, of green energy. I think that in infrastructure, especially the sports infrastructure that, of course, Morocco is building, there's a lot that we can do together. I think in the fields of geopolitics and defence relations, defence and security, Morocco is a strategic partner for us. This is a part of the world where there are some security challenges as well, but Morocco is a real partner for the UK in helping to manage that. In our people-to-people links, 1 million British people come and visit Morocco every year because of the beautiful countryside, the amazing history, the warm welcome that they receive here, not least here in Marrakech. So this is what we can build on. And I think, of course, that traditionally there are connections with other European countries here, but I really see there being a strong potential for growth with the UK.